Celebration of Motherhood, co-hosted by the Connecticut Society of Portrait Artists and the Stanford Art Association. I'm Janine Jackson, president and founder of the Connecticut Society of Portrait Artists, and I'm going to turn over the introduction of what this event is all about to Christine Irving, who is the president of the Stanford Art Association. Christine?
Hi, welcome everybody. I'm Christine Irvin from the Stanford Art Association, and we are a organization that has been in existence for 50 years. We host 10 exhibits a year at our gallery space and obviously have pivoted to doing virtual exhibits. And late last year, we decided it would really be beneficial if we partnered with other organizations in the community. And one of our board members, Barbara Mathis, who will be speaking later, who is one of our artists, will be talking about her work, as will a number of you. And she suggested that we partner with the Connecticut Society of Portrait Artists. And Janine and I have worked together on the Art Walk for several years in Stamford, which is an annual event. And so we just jumped in, and we have 47 artists from our two groups represented, and we have 7 states represented, and we have, in addition to the virtual exhibits, which are, excuse me, shown on each of our websites, we have a pop-up gallery in downtown Stamford at 96 Bedford Street, which will be up for the duration of the exhibit. So we are glad to have you here, and you probably know this, but on our websites, all the artwork is exhibited as well as the contact information if you wish to purchase anything. So let's get started.
So everyone, our hosts will be putting in the chat room the links to where you can see the gallery page. And we're going to kick this off with Shauna Lee Kwasniak, who's going to share shortly the screens and the artists. But first, Julia Murphy has a little bit of technical introduction to how this meeting will go.
Hello, everybody. It's so nice to see your beautiful faces here today. And now that we are all Zoom pros after this past year, I'm not going to go into great detail, but the important things, we are recording this session right now. We are going to keep everyone's microphones muted unless you're called upon or presenting. And we recommend strongly that you have the gallery view on, with video on, so that we can see everybody here, and it's just a much nicer experience that way. The format is going to be 15 minutes on, and then 15 minutes with one organization, and then 15 minutes with the next. So it'll be CSOPA, then SAA, then back to CSOPA, and we will have intermittent breaks so that you can get up and move around. And during that time, each artist, and hopefully their models as well, is going to talk a little bit about a single piece that is in the show. Those pieces are going to be spoken about in the order they appear on the respective websites, which are showing a beautiful online gallery at both CSOPA and SAA for their parts in the show. The links are going to be in our chat. And we're very much interested in having everybody participate. There are 2 main ways that you can do that. We prefer that everybody write their questions or comments in the chat, which is probably at the bottom of your screen. And what will happen is the moderators, myself and Shauna Lee, will keep an eye on the chat and pose those questions to the presenters as they come. If you need to, you can also use the raise hand feature under participants, and we will note that you have a question and call on you specifically. I would just say bear with us because there's so many people here. It might take us a moment to notice, but we will get to you, and we absolutely want to make sure that we answer all of your questions.
Julia, may I just add to what you're saying so perfectly, is that for those who are not used to Zoom, I can see John Scully's one of them thinking, where is that? You have to move your cursor a little bit to see the options at the bottom of your screen. You'll see chat, you'll see hand raised, you'll see emoticons. So if you jiggle your cursor a little bit, there should be options at the bottom of the screen. Go ahead, Julia.
Okay. And well, that was really it. I'm just so glad to see everybody here. And if you have any trouble, I'm posting. Hopefully everyone can see it. I'm going to repost it in the chat just in case. You can contact me directly or send me a private message through the chat feature if you're having any issues, and I'll help you out. Okay.
Okay,
So-
guys, we're gonna thank Julia for that. We're all here to help each other, and we're gonna begin this before we kick off meeting the artist. We want to get to know who's here a little bit. So we have a fun little poll for you, and I'm gonna launch it now. And we had someone who was going to read these. Who was going to read these for us?
I believe I was going to be the lucky winner there.
Okay, Julia, would you read? Everyone can answer these.
All right. So we are interested in finding out about you guys. We want to know if you are first an artist, a model, an art lover, all of the above, or just curious. We'd love to know if you are currently a member of the Connecticut Society of Portrait Artists, the Stanford Art Association, both or neither. And we're very interested to know what you're interested in during this reception. If you want to learn more about the artists, learn more about the mothers, you're interested in finding a unique Mother's Day gift through original art, all of the above or something else entirely. And we would also like to know if this is your first time attending a virtual exhibition. It's probably either yes, this is all new. You may have done something like it before, or you've done it a million times. So just take a moment to answer those questions for us. And
we'll share. This is anonymous.
Yep.
Anonymous. So feel free to answer however you feel. And in just a moment, we're past 72%. When we get to 75%, which is now, we will share the results. Julia?
All right. It looks like we got mostly artists and art lovers here. A little more, we have quite a few SAA people and a lot of CSOPA, but it's nice to see that there are quite a few. About half of everyone here is not a member of either organization. So welcome. We're super happy to have you here. And it's lovely to see that everybody's really interested in learning about the artists and mothers. And it looks like over half of us, this is the first time you're doing something like this. So we are totally happy to help, and just remember, we're here to have fun. So.
Great. Okay, thank you so much, Julia. And now Shauna Lee Kwashnek, who's also a director from the Connecticut Society of Portrait Artists, will begin the screen share and introducing our artists.
Thank you, Janine. And a moment before we go into the screen share, I want to share the front page of, hold on a second. I want to share the front page of our website, just so you know what it looks like. If you were to click on the link that Julia has posted in the chat room, you would end up going to this, and you can scroll down and see all of the works. But for now, I will be sharing a slideshow of the artwork and inviting artists for our 15-minute segments to discuss their work. And I welcome all of you here. And our first artist up is Linda Champagnier. Are you here, Linda?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Great, so good to hear from you. Linda, tell us about this beautiful painting of yours.
Thank you. This is a portrait of my daughter, Emily, and her daughter, Anjali. And it was when Anjali was very young, and I did it because that moment was so poignant with Emily kissing her little baby hand. And I loved painting the hands and feet, particularly on the painting. And I was trying to get a softer, looser look than, I was inspired by Mary Cassatt, although I have a long way to go to become that. But
well, it's a beautiful painting, and you've captured such a gorgeous moment that any mother holding her baby knows. Just precious. Is your model here today with us, Linda?
Both of my models are here, Emily and Anjali.
Oh, how exciting. I would love, please unmute yourselves and join us and share what it was like to be part of this beautiful painting by Linda.
There. I feel like we should reenact the moment.
Oh, yes. Hold that child up and smooch him.
She's a little bigger now, but we have lots of cuddles and love, and it's just really special having a mom who's an artist and who, you know, we always got our photos taken and got to be models from pretty young, because my mom's been painting really since she was a kid. And yeah, it's such a gift to have. She gifted us with this portrait, and it's such a just tremendous gift to have, to capture that.
Absolutely. What a treasure. What a treasure. And I see you have two of your girls with you.
I
How
do.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Just time for another painting.
Yeah.
And they are both also artists, so it makes it extra special.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love hearing that. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was so good to hear about the paintings. Our next person up is Joan Elizabeth Goodman. Joan, are you here with us? Joan?
She is.
You
She
can
has to
unmute.
unmute. Yeah.
Oh, you have to unmute yourself.
I'm here.
Hi, Joan. Joan, tell us about yourself, you know, where you're from and your inspiration for your beautiful painting and any information.
I'm in New York, but I grew up in Connecticut, and I was a member of CSOPA for a number of years.
Yes.
But since we've been in New York, I haven't been able to
Welcome
attend.
back.
So whatever. Anyway, it's lovely to be here and to be part of this show. This is my daughter and her child, Georgina, and I took a photograph of them when we were on a Zoom call. So, you know, it was kind of a cruddy photograph, but I've been drawing and painting each of them since birth. So I felt, you know, confident enough to know them to do this painting of them on their carpet in West Philadelphia. I'm just, you know, happy to be sharing this with all of you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Is your model here with us tonight?
Well, I think she's up from her nap, but I don't know where she is in the house. I happen to be in Philadelphia. They live in Philadelphia, and I happen to be here today.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Shona Lee, there may be questions.
Oh, Julia, do we have any questions?
Well, there aren't any in the chat, yes, but there are a couple of comments about how everyone loves the way that you use this sort of like graphic element of the carpet in the background. What was your thought process, like choosing that really bold look? Was it simply because that was what was in the room, or did you incorporate other elements as well?
Well, it was basically, that was what was in the room. And I did have to ask my daughter for a photograph of it, of just the carpet, because, you know, as I said, I had a really crummy photo from my Zoom call. But
I also know Nancy Stember had a question about this. If she's here with us, please unmute, Nancy.
Well, I am here, and I did have a question. Hi, Joan. It's a great pattern. It's lovely. My question was about the background, and it almost is like the background is part of the foreground, and it's very appealing.
what I was hoping for.
Okay, well, that's what I wanted to ask you. Was that part of your intention?
Yes, I wanted it to sort of be wrapping around them in a way, the same way that I felt like my daughter was wrapped around her daughter.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
Thank you for the question, Nancy. Shona Lee, we have to move on.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Joan. It was good to hear from you. Our next artist is Terrence. And Terrence, I have to ask, I'm not sure which painting you would like to speak about. So please unmute yourself and let me know if you'd like to speak about Clementine or Mamio.
I guess Clementine. Okay.
Sure.
She's my daughter's mother-in-law. A very interesting person. She had been an actress and then also a very big artist. In fact, her work was a top seller in the Wall Street Journal magazine. And you can see her dress, you know, she always had that kind of Gloria Swanson type effect, you know, in her dress and stuff. But lovely woman, but unfortunately in the last year she came down with Alzheimer's. So I'm so glad I took a photo of her and did the pastel of her while she was still,
Yeah, it's
you know.
beautiful paint, beautiful pastel, and a beautiful moment caught.
Thank you.
Beautiful. I'd ask you if your model were here, but if she's got Alzheimer's, that may be challenging.
No, she's lives in a different town, and, you know.
Yeah. Very powerful painting. I just love the bright aqua of her shirt, and very, very bold and a very tender moment as well.
Thank you.
Julia, do we have any questions for Terrence? We don't have questions, but people are saying that they love the background and the hands are so expressive, and I would agree. I'm a sculptor, and just like the modeling on this piece is just really exquisite, and I'm just so impressed. Like the hands and the face are so beautiful.
Hands have always been my nightmare in painting.
Oh, really? You never know.
Well, you fooled us,
I sometimes
Terrence.
spend
You
more on
fooled
that than I
us.
do on the face or anything else, trying to get them correct.
Terrence, this is Nancy. You portrayed her age very well in the hands. She probably has kept her looks very well as a former actress. And I think you portrayed who this person is through the hands and the rest of it.
Beautiful.
And it's amazing that it's pastel. It's so vibrant.
Beautiful. Shona Lee, we must, I'm sorry to crack the whip, but we have lots of paintings to go through.
Well, Janine, welcome. It's your turn. Janine, please tell us about this beautiful painting of Happy Mother's Day, Lucia, that you've done.
Actually, this painting was my inspiration for this event because just contemplating motherhood and what's coming up and working with Christine on the type of thing we could collaborate on. I knew right away what I wanted to paint. I wanted to paint one of the greatest mothers I've ever known, who is my sister, and her two gorgeous daughters who she's graciously allowed me to share in our lives. I don't have children of my own, so I borrow these two girls. So this was an easy decision of who I wanted to paint and how I wanted to paint it. It was not easy. This is a linear composition, which for artists with 3 people in a line just looking at you is not what we normally go for. But there was something about how Nicole on the left with her arms wrapped around Lucia in the center and Danielle on the right side, that to me was an interesting composition. So I went for it. And with the help of CSOPA and all the critiques we did together, guys, thank you. You guys gave me the courage to proceed with this, and I'm pleased about it. And my model is here. Lucia's here.
Oh, Lucia, would you please unmute yourself and share your experience with this beautiful painting of you?
I am overwhelmed and overjoyed that she truly captured each person's personality in our eyes, our hair, the moment. And over the years, Janine always allows me to learn her process and work with her on her process. And I always understand, like, I'm not an artist, so the underpainting, like just all the steps of it. And then when it was for me and my family, I'm like blown away. So it's pretty amazing. So thank you, sister.
Thank you, sister.
Well done. Thank you so much for sharing and joining us tonight. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment because it's now time for our next segment. Mary Ann or Christine, if you would take the next part.
Sure. So I'll jump in here.
All right, great. Thank you.
And one of the other things we probably should explain is when Janine and I put this exhibit together, we decided that the CSOPA would provide very classic representational portrait work, and that the Stanford Art Association artists would work in other medias. And this is what you're going to see. There are some similarities, but you'll see differences and similarities. Now I'm going to introduce Marianne Glass, who's going to run us through the beginning of the SAA slideshow, and she's also one of the artists, so you'll see her speaking and also presenting. So Marianne?
Hello,
Thank you.
everyone. I am part of the 55% that this is the first time I've done a virtual Zoom. So let's see how this goes. Ooh. Okay. Hang on with me.
No worries.
Do you see it?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yes, thank you everyone for your patience. This has been quite the year we've all had.
Indeed.
You know, this worked last night. Okay. Okay, I'm sharing screen.
I think you have a wonderful and kind audience here tonight.
You're very patient. Okay.
There you go.
Yay.
Terrific. Okay, this is the Stanford Art Association page, as you can see. And you would look for exhibitions if you wanted to see this show and go into upcoming. And you'll see the Artistic Celebration of Motherhood. And you click on the SAA exhibit or the other one if you want to. And let's get started. The first one we're going to look at is Karina. Karina, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, everyone.
Hi, how do you pronounce your last name?
Imbrogno.
Imbrogno. I knew I wasn't going to get it right. So this is a pastel. It's 20 by 27.
Yes.
Painted it this year. And
I was really inspired to make this piece because I have a love for photography and I have a love for a lot of black and white photography. And then I find myself, I'm a disabled artist. I just started 6 years ago and I'm self-taught, but I noticed that portrait is really what I love to do. So just researching, I came across a colored photograph a lot like this. And then I changed to black and white and did my own kind of interpretation of it. And I come up with this piece and I'm very happy because my own inability of not being able to have kids because of my disability attracts me to draw them, attracts me to people and kids. And this was this exhibit was a wonderful opportunity for me to really be able to express that. And I used pan pastels with this, which is a very new pastel that came out maybe 6 years ago. And it's really been so much easier to do these backgrounds and to get all these folds. Just the way you apply it with tools, and I just love it. I use all three. I use pencils, I use the sticks, but a lot of pan pastels, and I'm so happy that they came up with this invention.
I apologize for the sideways thing. I don't know why it's doing that. But this is extraordinary. You've only been doing this a few years.
I've only been doing pastels for 2 years and portraits just like a year.
Wow, that's amazing.
I become a member of the Connecticut Portrait Society. I think I'm just going to be really happy doing this. And
I think so.
Really, really,
I actually have a question for you from the chat when you're ready.
Sure.
April is wondering, do you know what you'll photograph before you paint?
No, I just get drawn to images and that's when I start to take photographs and change them around. And I started now playing around with Photoshop to get what I really want. And I'm going to try doing live model. I don't know how good I'm going to be with my disability, but I'm going to try. My sister this summer is going to model. I'm going to do a really big pastel of an angel. I'm going to turn her into an angel.
Wow, that sounds very exciting.
Inspired by spirituality, which I've become very spiritual the past few years.
Well, it certainly shows
to be here with all of you. I just survived my second pulmonary embolism, so I'm very happy to be out of the hospital.
Oh my God.
I'm very lucky.
Very lucky.
So I'm happy to be here and be able to exhibit. Very happy.
Well, it's extraordinary work. Thank you.
So talented. I'm loving the show.
I'd also like to say a couple words. I met Karina when she first started painting and drawing, and it's just been an amazing journey to see how you have developed. This really is beautiful. And also she is one of the artists that's represented in the pop-up exhibit at 96 Bedford Street.
You guys should go down and look at it.
Yep, it looks good.
Thank you.
Okay. Cheryl Miller, is Cheryl Miller here today?
Yes, hi, how's everyone?
Hi.
Hi,
So John's mom, it's 18 by 24 and it's charcoal. And let's see if we can get you right side up. Yes, okay. Could you talk about your work?
Yes. Well, first off, it's good to be here. And I was really inspired. I live up here in North Stamford and wanted to participate in a local show. John's mom is special for me. I started school when I was college age, Rhode Island School of Design. And at that time, back then, unfortunately, my father passed away 2 weeks before I was to go to my sophomore year. And I ended up having to switch. I'm originally from Washington, D.C., and I was a teen and I have a teenage, at the time I had a teenage brother. And 2 weeks before, 2 weeks before I was to go back to Providence to school, my father passed away. And I ended up transferring to MICA, Maryland Institute College of Art. And I switched from fine arts to graphic design. And I've really been blessed with a quite notable graphic design career. But I had originally gone to RISD to paint and to draw. And even though I switched because I just wasn't sure the future, I needed to, go get an education so that I could take care of myself. I always drew. And there was a young gentleman who was in fine arts who befriended me. And pretty much through my time of grieving, I was always, he kind of took care of me, like he drove me back and forth to Washington to see my mom and made sure I had, everything. He's just really nice to me. And he was, his name was John. And John started in his fine art work, he started drawing African scenes. And I was really inspired with him. I'm studying design, and uniquely, my maternal family is Danish, West Indian, Danish Creole. And so though we come from being from islands that now are US Virgin Islands, my family was Danish. And I had a very unique exposure to Danish Creole and West Indian culture. And he started painting and drawing African ancestry and and I was like, oh, I want to try this too. And I was so focused on design, always wanted to paint. So I did painting and drawing on the side, but I was there as a design major. And so just drawing with him in his classes and, through also through the era, I'm not sure if everybody remembers, but this was also inspired through the era when the first miniseries Roots started. And he was so inspired. He was just, if it was African scenery, people, portraits, and so forth. And I had this kind of Danish West Indian DNA in me. I just started drawing and painting with him. And every now and again, when I have time for my design work, I teach at 4 universities Zoom. Can you believe it? And just like I said, a fully dedicated design career. And my fine art work is collected. And so, my work is collectible. I'm totally Googleable. And I wanted to do something in Stamford and local. And this is just one of my inspired pieces that, comes from the era of drawing with him when I had time, drawing from being inspired from that Roots miniseries. Many of us will remember it. It was the first miniseries ABC put on in 1978. And so all this inspiration, John kind of introduced doing painting and sketching. And I said, John, I want to do one too. And so this is one that I've named John's mom. And it's just from, he dared to do something different in designs in art school. And, I always wanted to do fine arts, kind of got drifted to design, and that's it. So it's downtown.
We're going to have to sort of move along, and we appreciate all your information. And I also want to say that Cheryl's work is also part of the pop-up. And we've gotten a lot of responses about how striking this really is.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
let me just say that if we shift a little bit in the schedule, stay with us. We'll stay pretty much in the order, but the timing may vary a little as we go. Thank you.
Okay, next, Gigi, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Hi, Gigi.
Hi.
Hi. Now for something different. A mother's kiss. It's 17.5 by 13.5, and it's an oil. And there's different kinds of mother's love. And would you talk about your painting here?
Oh, sure. You know, I do do a lot of portraits, and I've painted a variety of mother-child human interactions in the past. But for this entry, I wanted to focus on how a mother's love transcends species. I love to paint animals, especially giraffes and horses. So one of my friends had a photo. She went to the zoo. Her name is Denise McQuillan. And she took a photo of a giraffe giving a peck on the head of her baby. And I thought that was so sweet, and I had to paint it. It's colorful and cheerful, and it tells the story of a protective maternal instinct of the giraffe and her young calf. The calf is receptive as he lovingly looks at his mom. And I was drawn to paint this after seeing the same peck on the head ritual given by human mothers to their babies time after time. And I find that I do that to my fur babies all the time. I'm always kissing them on the head. It's a kiss on the head is a gesture that's nurturing and intimate. It shows deep affection and protectiveness and indicates a close emotional bond that transcends species.
Well,
and I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, I love the way you caught the expressions, because animals don't have the facial muscles we do. So, you know, you can really see.
Well, I think he looked like the baby was actually smiling at his mom. I tried, I don't know if you know any of my work, but whenever I try to get some kind of emotional, using muscles in the face and depicting emotion from any kind of species that I paint. I wanted to make this bright, happy, and whimsical. In colors, I use teal, peacock, oranges, and crimson, using Charvin and Michael Harding oil paint. The panel itself is 14 by 11 oil on oil prime linen panel. The dimensions that are listed includes the framing. So I just want to thank you for accepting A Mother's Kiss. I know it's a little different for traditional mothers, and giving me the opportunity to tell my story. And if you want to see any of my humans, you can look at my website, gigibarrett.com. But what I would love to do is to keep in contact with all you wonderful artists, and I'm wondering if there's a way to get contact information for everyone, all the artists that are here that you can share with all the other artists, so that we could kind of keep in touch.
Okay, well, thank you very much. We really am enjoying this.
I do have one comment on that. I have worked from giraffes from life, and this painting completely captures giraffeness, like the personality of it. They're just really funny and inquisitive, and they've got big personalities to go with their big bodies, and it's a really great rendition. I just wanted to say congratulations. It's well done.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to pass this back to the Connecticut Society of Portrait Artists, but we will be back.
Thank you, Marianne. Our next person up is Polly Curry. Polly, are you here with us?
I know she's
Polly.
here.
Polly,
I'm
go
here.
ahead and unmute yourself and tell us all about this beautiful painting of yours, Love at First Sight.
Well, you know, when I heard there was going to be this exhibit, I thought about what moment is so powerful in a mother's life at the moment you first see this child that's born. And this is my daughter, Emily. Someone else had a daughter, Emily. My daughter, Emily, and my granddaughter, Lizette. And I mean, your heart just wants to burst when you see that little person for the first time. And I just wanted to catch the intensity of that. And It's a neat story. I said to Emily, I guess Lizette really couldn't see you very well, or whether it's love at first sight both ways. And she said that Lizette was crying in the birthing room, and Emily just started talking, and she just quieted right down.
Oh,
So
and
the
that's a
baby knew.
moment. That's a moment all of us moms know.
Yeah. So I'm brand new artist. I started with COVID, and I am loving discovering. Yeah, I'm loving discovering art. I did this with a charcoal draw from a photograph. I did a charcoal sketch and then painted in oil, and I just was loving the two of them as I painted it.
I just want to say, CSOAP is really excited to have Polly Curry as a member. Given that she started so recently, it's astounding what she's accomplished already. This is one of the few paintings that are representational of this event at 96 Bedford Street. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, very well done, Polly. Polly, is your model here with us?
No, she's home with 4 little children and didn't think it could work out.
I totally understand. Well, thank you so much for sharing this beautiful painting, this beautiful moment that you've captured. And we're so glad that you're part with us.
Thank
Our
you.
next artist is Nicole Troupe, but Nicole can't be here tonight because she's got a very busy schedule. So our Nancy Stember is going to share Nicole's words with us. Nancy, can you unmute and join us?
Yes, hi, I'm here. And it's too bad that Nicole is not here to explain the beautiful tenderness of this painting, but I can tell you some things about Nicole. I won't be able to answer questions, but because with technique and everything, but she is from Pennsylvania, and she is a commissioned portrait painter who teaches. And this was a painting of her first child, Bryce. He's the oldest son. She now plans to work on a portrait of her youngest son, Colton. But this is a moment, as she describes it, an intimate moment between a mother and child, celebrating her son's life and her first time as a mother. And it's an oil paint. It's rather small, 11 by 14, but it is just so beautifully rendered. And we at CSOAP just loved it when we saw it. And I think it tells a story. And look at that hair, that little bit of hair on the head, and her hand cradling Bryce's head. So we all think it's wonderful. And if for any chance she can join us later, maybe she can say some more about it. But it's a lovely job, and I'm privileged to be able to speak on her behalf.
Oh, thank you so much, Nancy, for speaking for Nicole. It's a beautiful, beautiful painting, and if she, we hope she can join us later. Our next artist is Stephanie Allegretti. Stephanie, can you unmute yourself and join us and tell us about your beautiful painting here,
Hi.
Basking in the Glow?
Hi, everyone. Nice to be here. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
So this is a painting that of a portrait of my late mother, actually, and myself when I was a child. I painted it basically in my mother's memory as a way to kind of honor her. It was painted from a photograph taken shortly after I was born in the 1970s. So it kind of captures that time period with the colors and the kind of warm and earthy tones. It's an oil painting, and I kind of wanted to capture that sort of glow that a mother kind of experiences after they have a child, and the tenderness just of the moment of my mom kind of, holding me after not long after I was born. So
you've definitely captured a beautiful, beautiful, lovely moment. And what a treasure for that you painted yourself as an infant and your late mom. That's you'll never regret having done that.
Mm-hmm.
Julia, do we have any questions?
I don't see any here. However, I just wanted to say that I really love the way that when you said the 70s, I was like, yep. The way that you
Yeah, I totally recognize the patterns on her shirt too.
The way you incorporated texture in the entire thing, I think is really beautiful. You tied it into the furniture and her clothing, but it actually is not overpowering despite the nature of 1970s textile print.
Yes.
Like, it's very complimentary,
agree.
and I just wanted to say I thought
agree.
you did a great job.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I keep looking at her shirt going, I swear, I think my mom had a sweater just like that.
I do.
Oh, thank you so much, Stephanie. What a beautiful painting and a lovely memory that you've captured.
Thank you so much.
You're
Appreciate
quite
it.
welcome. Our next artist up is Joseph Sundwall. Joseph, would you please unmute yourself and join us? And please tell us a little bit about your painting of Elizabeth and Charlie.
Well, I should say that my remarks are in part for the non-artists among us. How it went was after Elizabeth and I connected through my website, she sent me a number of snapshots of her and Charlie. But her favorite picture was this piggyback pose at sunset. We didn't meet in person until the presentation of the finished portrait because of the pandemic.
Wow.
Working from photographs is tricky. Photographs tend to flatten out images and makes mechanical choices when capturing an image, choices that an artist wouldn't make. For example, with a bright sky behind the subject, a camera would tend to obscure details in the dark areas all over and blow out much of the color and detail in the sky. The human eye is far more sensitive and sees everything. Now, something I believe is important to say about what I found doing portraits, both in person and from photographs, is that after a period of sustained focus energy on attention on the subject, the sense of separation falls away. And what rises in place of that separateness is love. This deep feeling of unity somehow goes into the painting and reflects it for as long as the painting exists. I believe this is the experience we're after when we go to an art museum and what we expect when we commission a portrait, that quality of being here right now in the presence of the loved one, in the present moment that doesn't change, but is always and ever the same. This is a fun painting to do because they're such a happy pair, aren't they?
They are. I just love how you caught that immediacy of this moment and that lovely moment. Every mom takes her kids to the beach and does this sort of thing. And it is such a very joyful moment that you've caught. And I can also feel the breeze of the air by the water. And I can feel that just the sound of the waves crashing.
Yeah.
Shona Lee, I believe there is a question.
Oh, great.
Nancy has.
Yeah, I have a question. Well, first of all, Joseph, I want to thank you. Your explanation is not only very helpful to the non-artist, to the artist. So
I agree.
That was really nice. Now I have a question. I'd like to know how Charlie reacted when he saw this portrait.
Good question.
Well, some years ago, I had painted for a woman's 50th birthday, a photograph, or rather a painting of her 3 triplets. And when she saw the painting, she broke into tears for about 5 minutes. When Charlie saw this painting, we had a real unveiling with the pulling off of the cloth. He started laughing, and he must have laughed for like a minute straight. Both Elizabeth and I were laughing right along with him. It was just so unexpected somehow that for him that was his reaction, the laughter.
Thank you.
And he's never going to forget that unveiling.
Elizabeth.
How old was Charlie? How old is about? Do you know how old he is?
7.
Oh.
She might be here. Is Elizabeth here?
Maybe Charlie's here.
Yeah, Elizabeth, if you're here, please unmute yourself and join us.
Elizabeth Sundwall?
No, Elizabeth Garnsey. Maybe not then. didn't make it.
Yeah, I don't see her on the list, but we can keep an eye out. And if she pops up, then maybe we can get her in to answer a couple questions.
Okay, thank you.
All right,
Beautiful
well,
work.
wonderful. Yes, yes. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate you explaining the different, how, using the photographs and what it does for a portrait artist. I think that's really, really important information.
All right.
All right. So, pardon?
Oh, I was just gonna say we just need to keep to our schedule, so we should keep it rolling.
That's right. So I'm going to stop share and hand the baton over to Mary Ann and Christine.
All right, we're going to try this again.
Oh, we're pros at this now.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay. All right, the next artist we're going to look at is Sarah King. Is Sarah here?
No, actually, no.
I'm here.
You're here?
But
Okay.
if somebody else is going first, then that's okay too.
Sarah, you have two here, and we're going to concentrate on Please Don't Drown the Cat.
Okay.
And you win the award for the absolute best title.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about what the background is on this.
So I'm currently painting a series about my own transition into motherhood and all of the challenges and beauty that I've been awoken to, and also how those feelings have been magnified through my experience of the pandemic. So I've used the bathroom as a space where I've been doing a series of bathers and reflective paintings, both self-portraits and paintings of my son. This painting is based on, of course, my models.
You might want to check on that.
Yeah, I know, seriously. No, so this painting, particularly I wanted to paint because it's a painting that we live through as mothers every day with a daily bath, but it also had, I wanted to kind of capture that sense of closeness and kind of little bit of claustrophobia with everybody in the tub, and just this scene that seems so recognizable, and it's a daily scene in our lives, and that's where we are. So also it seems very poignant for the time, because this is, of course, the COVID pet that everybody seems to have gotten in the past year, and that's just, yeah, one of the scenes.
What I really like about this is I feel that lived-in experience in this painting. It's not kind of the fantasy of motherhood; it's sort of the day-to-day reality of it.
Yes, yeah. I wanted to focus on that. I think that most of the times in the media, we're blasted with these really idealized versions of motherhood instead of the kind of gritty underbelly of it too. So I wanted to focus on that as well. With
Yeah, Sarah, you're getting a lot of really wonderful comments.
Great, thank you.
Ashley says she's obsessed with the immediacy of your painting. Joan Elizabeth loves the tub scene. And April Walker loves the colors and sense of play and chaos. And I have to say, I just love the title because I have said that so many times to my own children.
One thing I just wanted to end on was that the looseness has to do with the fact that being an artist and being a mother, I don't have a lot of time in the studio. So I'm constantly trying to be as immediate as possible with the marks that I'm making, because I never know when I'm going to stop painting and have to pick up on my other role. So my paintings have really transitioned a lot with that.
But it's an extraordinary work. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing.
And the Murray Beaver, is Murray Beaver here?
Yes, I'm here.
You're here, okay.
Okay.
There you are.
Okay, and my oil painting titled At a Wall to Overcome. It's an idea that came to me from current events documenting the plight of immigrants crossing borders separated by physical walls. in their quest for a better life. This painting was done from my imagination, not from a photo or a newsprint picture. I show a mother holding and caressing her baby while gazing at the wall which she needs to overcome. It is a painting in a modern, realistic style. The wall is made of rocks. It separates poor, desolated area from a well-to-do, happier land on the other side, where trees grow, the grass is green, and balloons rise up in the air. The mother gazes at the wall that others have tried to mount and cross over unsuccessfully. See a body trying to scale the wall, and another lying prone on the ground. The ground in the foreground is full of rubbish, shoes, and rocks. Also note the graffiti on the wall. It says in words, poverty, hunger, racism, hate, war. These are what this mother and her child need to overcome to reach the other side, which portrays her hope for happiness, with balloons in the air, trees, grass, and a lake in the distance. It symbolizes a universal desire of many mothers and their families. They will celebrate when on the other side. Thank you.
Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you very much. So it's 24 by 30, so it's a good size piece too.
Right.
Linda Campanier is here again.
Yeah.
Well,
Before Linda speaks, Linda is the crossover artist. She's represented in both groups. So,
but this is very different. So let's talk about this one.
Well, it was interesting because Janine was describing how the two different organizations were going to come together. And she said, you know, what if motherhood was portrayed in a landscape? And I had actually done a landscape in the past that was a mountain that was a woman. So I thought, well, you know, how could I look at a more universal sense of motherhood? And so I just had a vision of the galaxy embracing the earth with love and protection and being the mother of the earth.
Oh, so, I just love it. I can, yeah, I see the face now of the galaxy.
Right. And that was one of my challenges, is I wanted to have the face, but not have it be so literal. And so it was, I always liked it when somebody looked at it and then saw the face later.
Yes. No, it's a beautiful piece. And I am going to return this to our friends over in Connecticut Society of Portrait Artists.
All right, thank you, Mary Ann. All right, I'm going to share again. And our next artist up is Lois Plusky. Lois, are you here? Can you please unmute yourself?
I am here. Thank you so much. I'm so thrilled to be part of this today. This drawing is my first and only granddaughter. During this pandemic, I'm watching her full time so my daughter can work from home. I recently retired and got back into doing art 3 years ago. I'm working in the studio of Atelier Joel Carson Jones locally and learning photorealistic drawing. This is a drawing of my beautiful granddaughter, Mia. I used 3 different photographs that I took to kind of compose this layout. One of her sleeping, the sweet blanket with little owls on it.
I just love little owls, just love them.
Thank you. And I'm always looking at clouds and taking pictures of clouds, and I happen to see a cloud with a heart-shaped cloud. And I like to think that she's dreaming of how much we all love her so much. So I'm called it Sweet Dreams, Mia. You are so very loved. Mm-hmm. And she's just been life-changing for me. Being a grandmother is the best thing ever.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I really love how you captured is that baby arm position of their arms up over their head, and how natural they sleep that way.
Thank you.
A beautiful, tender moment. And those owls, oh my God, those are wonderful.
Thank you. They weren't fun to draw.
Well, they certainly add a lot of the beautiful patterns and the imagery that comes with those beautiful babies.
Thank you. So I hope to be moving on to oil painting sometime soon. I've been working through charcoal drawing at this point, and we'll be moving into oil painting. I do have a fine arts degree. I'm a retired graphic designer, but I'm getting back into fine art now as I'm retired.
Well, thank you so much. Lois, did you have a guest to speak with us tonight about the painting?
I don't.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. We loved hearing about this beautiful painting of your granddaughter and all the information about it. Our next artist up is Nancy Stember. Nancy, can you unmute yourself and tell us about Ariane and Benio?
Yeah.
How do you pronounce it?
Benio.
Benio?
It's French, and French speaking people out there will have to excuse me. I've pronounced it Benio. But Ariane unfortunately passed away several years ago, but she, for her entire lifetime, was a painter of children's portraits. And so I thought it would be appropriate for Motherhood to use her as a model of somebody who immortalized.
Oh, I love that. Just love that.
And the children who are loved so much. So her paintings are still, she did generations of families, and she did the children. And they're still all over the world, her paintings. She was prolific, loved by everybody. Most of her clients were in the South, and portraiture was very popular in the South, more so than other parts of the country. It's starting to become popular in the North and West and Midwest, but in the South, it was almost like child neglect if you didn't have a portrait hanging.
Well said.
She actually would travel to stay, and she didn't want to stay at a hotel. She wanted to stay with the family in their home so that she would get to know the children better. And I just found a portrait, this is not of a child, but I mean, this is the quality of her work. She did illustrations.
Oh, I have to stop share for a moment, and I have to pin you for a moment while you hold that up.
Okay.
I don't know if everyone can see my pin, but take a look at Nancy, and Nancy's holding up a portrait of the quality.
That's
I don't know. Oh, here it is.
Yeah. Hold it up and hold it still.
This was an early illustration that she had done for a magazine, but you can get an idea. So Ariane was a neighbor of mine and a very dear friend. And the funny thing is that, this portrait, our Connecticut Society of Portrait Artists wanted to practice photographing a model so that we could use that as source material for a painting. And Ariane agreed to be our model. So we all were trying different lighting and f-stops and all that stuff. And the photograph that I took of Ariane is the resource for this painting. And then I put in the element of her portraiture in the background. But she is somebody who should be immortalized, and
I totally agree.
Yeah. So it's an oil on canvas, and it's very special. And she's holding a paintbrush. It's hard to see, but
I see that. I've totally missed that. I've been so engrossed in her beautiful expression and the background with the hints of the children that I totally missed the paintbrushes. I love that, Nancy. Just love it.
she always wore a necklace, and that's our.
Julia, do we have any questions from the group before I move on to our next artist?
We just have some wonderful comments. Stephanie loves the faint depictions of the paintings of the children in the background, which I think is also amazing. It really, it shows kind of her legacy there in the background. Deb says you have painted her bright personality shining against a dark background. And Angela says she loves the light on her face and the hint of it on the sweater. Like your overall handing of the light and atmosphere is just virtuoso. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Wonderful as always.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Our next artist was actually supposed to be me, but we've had a switch. So our next person is going to be Barbara Mathis. And if you'll forgive me for having to scroll through quite a few works to get to Barbara's. Here we go. Barbara, can you unmute yourself and tell us about generational love?
Okay. This is a painting of my grandmother, my mother, and myself. And I wanted to just show the 3 generations together. I used 3 different photos to put this together.
Beautiful. This is so very powerful.
And I chose art in the middle because it's the love of each one for each other.
It's such a beautiful, strong
oil on board. And I always paint with a red background. I start all my paintings with red background.
Oh, that is so interesting. That gives us such a warm glow, doesn't it?
Yeah, it makes skin tones more vibrant. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. I can't just stop looking at this. Each of the women are just so powerful in their present and how they occupy the space. And for you, a treat to have the 3 generations together.
And they each were, my mother and my grandmother were both powerful women who lived very interesting lives. They both died very young, but they were amazing.
Well, you have totally captured that. Thank you so much, Barbara.
Thank you for changing places with me.
My pleasure.
I have to leave. I'm sorry. It's my husband's birthday celebration, so we're continuing it.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us. Our next person, thank you. Our next artist is Angela Classy. I'm going to scroll back up, so if you'll forgive me again for getting the place. Angela, would you unmute yourself and tell us about Yaya and Mary?
Hi, everyone. I just have to say I'm nearly speechless looking at all of these beautiful works that have been put together here. Really, each and every one is just so gorgeous. And to echo what already's been said, I do think there's an alchemy that happens. I think that the artists' love and I don't know, just emotions come through from the paintbrush to the canvas, and therefore really these works that we've all been looking at just in and of themselves just give such feelings of emotion and universality. And I think I really do have to say I've been enjoying this. But as far as this painting goes, my mother, my daughter, and I took a very long train ride on the California Zephyr, which is a train that went from Chicago to California. And my mother is from California originally. I was born there, and it was kind of a neat thing to go together, the 3 of us, back to California. And the light coming through the window on that train was so gorgeous. And this particular moment, this is also from a photograph, and I too, of course, as we all do, prefer to paint from life, but I thought the light just really was awesome here. So my mother, as you can see, is just delighted to be there with her granddaughter, and I loved my daughter Mary's very relaxed hand on her shoulder. She's completely amused by whatever my mother had been saying.
I'm dying to know what they were just talking about.
Yeah.
You have captured such a strong, intimate moment of family laughter and joy.
Thank you so much, because they're both strong personalities in their own right, but very, very different. And they connected in this moment so beautifully. So I wanted it to feel as though the viewer was coming in on, you know, their own little personal joke, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, thank you.
Well,
so
you have captured something that is very elusive to capture and paint, and that's a feeling of a conversation and a loving moment.
Thank
you. So beautifully done. Julia, do we have any comments or questions?
People just think it's amazing, and I would concur.
Yeah.
And then I believe
yeah.
we have one more artist, and then it will be time for our midpoint poll.
That's right. All right. Thank you so much, Angela. We love you sharing your painting with us. Actually, is Yaya or Mary here to share this moment?
Unfortunately, no. I wish they were, but thank you.
Okay, great. I had to ask before we go on. So our next artist is Ashley McClure. Please tell me if I've said your name wrong. Please unmute yourself and tell us about Shining Star and Pine Cones.
Can you guys see me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm on my phone. My daughter and I are outside with my husband. So sorry I have my camera off. I'm just chasing her around. This series actually started during quarantine as kind of a way to mark time and catalog what we were doing together. So I was home all day, every day with my daughter, who was about 15 months old at the time. I was a teacher, but I was teaching asynchronously. So I was kind of doing all my lessons during nap time. And then she and I would go on adventures or you know, basically like, I tried to think of things we could do together, you know, that didn't involve, you know, because nothing was open. So this one in particular, there's this little playground, and she loved to collect the pine cones and go down the slide. And so I made a few, and I use her original finger painting to kind of guide how I'm composing the piece. So a lot of that in the background is just her original finger paint. But yeah, so that's the story behind that.
So this is a piece that's not just your own, but it's a beautiful moment between you and your daughter because it's a shared work.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I love those pine cones. I could totally feel the texture of them if I were to pick them up, and that whimsical child moment of playing with them and having the play equipment nearby.
Yeah, thank you. I'm hoping, you know, I'd like to basically, since she's been born, I've been making, she's been in all my work. My work used to be about my own mother, kind of the traumatic experience of our relationship. But now that I'm a mother, it's a little bit more tender. And it's mostly about her, about my daughter, Martina. And I hope that someday, like, she can look back and just really feel and understand how much I love her.
I think she already knows. This is just beautiful, and her being a part of it, that is so powerful to include the children in artwork and in ways that you can't imagine. If you weren't chasing her around, I'd ask you if she can share in the moment.
Yeah, I
say
can.
hi.
She's right here. I'd love to have her say hello.
What's her name?
Her name is Martina.
Martina, can you hear us?
Yes.
Hi, Martina.
Hold on.
Hi. Did you help with the artwork? Hi, Martina.
Did you help with this painting, sweetie?
Oh, that's so wonderful. You did such a beautiful job, and your mommy did great too. We love it.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you say hello? This is you in this painting, remember? Yeah, and you made that painting with mommy. Yeah, everyone looking at it. You can see your beautiful face.
Nope. It's not having it.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was a treat to share that moment with your daughter too.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to hand the baton over to Mary Ann and Christine.
Just before that, we have our midpoint poll.
Oh,
and
yes,
we're a little bit behind schedule. So all the artists and guests, we will get to everyone. I think we have a little more time towards the end of this 2-hour reception. So hang in there, we'll get to everyone. Right now, we want to hear from you guys. And we're going to do another quick poll. This is anonymous. And we're going to ask Julia to please guide us through the questions.
Sure. We are asking one, whether you most enjoy representational art, abstract art, or some combination of both. 2, so far the reception has increased your appreciation for art, has increased your appreciation for mothers, both, or has been some other mysterious thing for you. And then we would like to know if you currently have original art made by an artist, have reproduction prints or digital art, or are interested in learning more about collecting original art, or have not really gotten into it yet. Then lastly, we're just curious how whether you're here today because you're a participating artist or model, whether you were invited, whether you read about the event or found out about it through some mysterious other method.
So we'll give you another 30 seconds. And when we get to 75%, we'll share the results.
It's always so cool to see people experience something new. And these online receptions have been new for all of us in this past year, but it's been such a wonderful experience to be able to connect with people from such a distance. So it's truly wonderful to see you all.
And a side benefit is no one is stuck in traffic.
Yeah, true.
So Julia, would you share the results?
All right. It looks like people over 60 or about 60% of people think they like some combination of representational and abstract together most, and with the rest a little more representational than abstract, but it looks like we have a pretty good mix of taste here. The reception has definitely increased your appreciation for art and mothers. Pardon me. Whew, excuse me. And it looks like over 80% of you have original art made by an artist, which is amazing. And everyone else is interested in learning more. And it looks like almost everybody are either are participating artists or models, or were invited by another participant. So we do so appreciate you reaching out and bringing other people into our events like this. So welcome to everyone. And that is all I've got. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Okay. Yes, no, I got it. We're good. I thought I had scrolled incorrectly.
Thank you, Julia.
Yes, no problem.
All right, Mary Ann and Christina.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. We're going to try the share screen again. Here we go. Chris Schnitzier, are you here? Chris?
I'm here.
Schnitzler, sorry.
It's Schnitzler, that's okay. It's a mouthful.
Sorry, it was a typo. So we have Elephant Mama Vibes. It's acrylic paint and acrylic markers on canvas, 18 by 24. So why don't you tell us about your work here?
I wanted to do something that was more symbolic of motherhood. So I chose animals because I just love drawing them. And elephants are just majestic and beautiful, and they're very family oriented. And I just love how they're gentle giants. They don't get destructive unless somebody goes after their young. So the mama elephant and the baby elephant, I don't know. It's just such a beautiful moment to see them together, playful. The little baby elephant kind of reaching up to the mom. Wanted to keep it like bright, light, and fun. Bright colors. I love using a lot of line work in my art. So elephants just have all those fun wrinkles to draw. And I love playing with the line weights of different of the lines to either bring areas out.
Chris, we have a lovely comment from Janine Jackson that she loves the wash of colors that feel like the jungle in your picture, your painting here.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Typically use that kind of abstract wash over your line drawings?
I've been playing around. I do a lot of pen and ink, watercolor ink. So I was trying to kind of develop that style using acrylic paint. It's been quite challenging. So a lot of my portraits are done with fine markers and fine pens. So this was kind of like a happy medium between using those fine liner markers and watercolor inks, kind of just splattering the canvas with acrylic paint, really. So yeah.
It really adds to it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
lots of wonderful comments. You know, Lucia says, beyond sweet, elephants are so deep, strong, and loving. And how true, how true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are your models here? No, just kidding.
And would they like to
My
say
mom's here. She's the mama elephant. She'll kill me though. She's sitting on the other side of the room. Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep the peace.
Pam Ingalls, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. See, you just click here. Okay. It's oil on board, and let's take a bigger look at it.
Wow.
Yeah. So why don't you talk about your painting here?
So like Janine and someone else said that they weren't mothers. I'm not a mom. I couldn't have kids. But when I'm visiting other people and they have kids, I'm like, oh, so interesting. And my friend, Mary Jude in Chicago has a daughter named Sandra and a little boy named Ray. And we were just relaxing. And I'm always interested in light and color, like all of you are. And I've always been wanted to paint someone that was looking at a screen because of that blue light that comes back up onto the person. And also I almost named this story time because that's the way story time is now. You know, it's like looking at, or at least I think it is. I don't know. I'm not a mom, but it just seemed like it was right before he was going to go to bed. And, you know, that was just the moment, an intimate moment, just like story time would be. So, and I just on a side note, this has been really fun for me. I live on an island near Seattle, and you're going to think this is crazy, but I loved listening to all of your accents.
We don't have accents.
I know, and maybe I do, but anyway, it's been really a joy to, and also the supportiveness that you have for each other. I love that. So
well, thank you. I love the little shoe, the little foot turn at the bottom there, and your brush strokes are amazing.
Yeah, Pam, lots of wonderful comments. Wow, from Janine Jackson. Beautiful, intense colors from Karina. And Deborah Howland Murley says, great composition, and she loves the arm of the sofa that brings the eye right to the subject. And Sonia Hales loves your painterly quality.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. That I studied Russian Impressionism, so it's a little bit different, slightly different, I guess. But everybody's was different. I really enjoyed seeing all these unusual, diverse styles.
Oh, it's lovely. Thank you very much.
So our next artist is Marianne.
This is something I know very well, actually.
Excellent. Yes. Marianne has a photograph, and Marianne, I'll turn it over to you. Marianne is also a painter and a multimedia artist. So Marianne, tell us a little about this.
Okay. I should tell you, I've been working almost exclusively with the iPhone for about 8 years. And I never leave a photo untouched without some of the phone apps. The software that's available to photographers now is just extraordinary. And I feel we should take full advantage of it. I also, I grew up in Ohio in a small rural Protestant community, and we really didn't do much with Mary. You know, at Christmas time, she'd get a mention. But when I traveled in Italy, she's everywhere. She's in all, every street has a niche with Mary. Even country roads have little shrines to her. And because my name is Mary Ann, I guess I feel the connection there. But no matter how dilapidated the shrine might be, there's always a candle that you can light, and someone has always put fresh flowers. So I have made a business, I haven't made a business, but I have made it a practice of mine to photograph Madonnas almost anytime I see them. This is Arthur Avenue, which is in the Bronx. We're a long ways from Italy. And this is one of the window displays, which I find fascinating. And I like photographing into windows because you get these layers of what was in the window, what was across the street. And usually there's a self-portrait in it, but I don't see one in here.
Mary Ann,
we have a question.
Oh yeah, we have some questions. Lucia was curious what software you're using. And she also wanted to know can you explain how you put so many pics together?
How many what?
How you put so many pictures together.
Oh, okay. This was easy. This was just photographing a window, and those are the reflections behind me. That's Arthur Avenue behind me. I use Snapseed all the time. It's a very, very powerful program. It's very WYSIWYG. I teach it. It's usually like a 2-hour course. I've taught it at SAA with Christine, and it just does marvelous things. And I also used in here, I think, Distressed FX, which is another app that gives you a lot of different textures that you can add.
That's amazing. If you were able at some point to add those into the chat, then all of the other artists here, I'm sure, will be very interested to know about
Okay, I could do that for sure.
And also we have, Mary Ann mentioned, we have run a couple of iPhone app courses, and this would probably be a good way to ask anybody here if you would like us to run it again. We would love to do this.
Okay, we got one at least. Yes, I think this summer we'll be able to start running some small workshops again.
But if you are interested, please, email us and we will just put you on our list and get in contact with you.
I just have a quick question for our host. How are we doing on time?
I think we're right on track.
Mary, we're on track. Great. Thank you.
Right on track.
Okay.
Awesome.
We have one last artist, Susan McHale. Are you here, Susan?
Yes, I'm here.
Good, good. So this is very intriguing. Why don't you tell us what you're doing here?
Okay, so I have two pieces. One is I have the two mugs that are dipped mugs, but we'll talk about this just little photograph. So this is my daughter and I. I'm in the photograph because I'm taking the photograph, and I just, when I took the photograph, I felt that there was presence somehow. What this is an antique mirror that is in this old house in Massachusetts. And I felt the presence of the past, of course, because this is kind of an antique, and this is this old house that's 18th century cabin. And this mirror is very old. And the mirror is kind of, I don't know, a mirror and a window that's in this house that has a sort of haunted feeling, for real. I mean, this is real. And we often see things in the mirror. When you walk into the room just right, you can look sometime into the mirror and you'll see the faces of the portraits and drawings that are in the room around. There are a lot of portraits and other art in the room. And if you walk by this mirror, sometimes you'll see a face. It's really just terrifying. Anyway, so we call it the haunted mirror. And so it was just a fun thing about mother-daughter, because I really felt that there was sort of the grandmother, not really my mother, but possibly just the haunted feeling of this mirror and a window into the past or something.
Yeah, mirrors are portals, and it's always interesting. to photograph in a mirror because it looks different than what you see. I mean, there's sort of some sort of discontinuity when you look in a mirror.
Right.
I love hearing about the history too involved in this.
Yeah, well, it's just kind of scary. We always don't like to be in this room because we always get creeped out. Because it is, I don't know if you've had that experience where there's a mirror and then there are paintings around the mirror, and somehow when you walk by, you'll see all of a sudden there'll be a face in the mirror and it's from across the wall.
All right. Well, thank you very much. It's when you see a face right here that gets really scary.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. And I'm going to turn this back to Janine Lee.
All right. Thank you, Mary Ann. And I'm going to share my slideshow again. Our next artist is Deborah Howland Murray for Expecting Silas. Deborah, would you unmute yourself and join us?
Yes, I will. So a little bit about process. This is a pastel and I work on a sanded paper, and I use pastels that range from exceedingly soft to quite hard to get that detail. And generally when I have a dark background, that I'll use a number of layers of dark pastel, then use turpenoid to run them together so I have a really good solid background, and then use pastel over it. So those are just a few technical notes.
Oh, wow.
Pardon?
Wow, I love hearing that.
And this is my daughter-in-law, and she was expecting her first child, Silas, at the time living with my husband and myself while they saved up some for a home of their own. And I took a lot of photos, and I liked, this is actually a combination of a number of photos because I liked the hands in one and I liked the composition of her body in another. And I'm going to embarrass her a lot probably because I know she's listening, but she is a truly sweet person, and I really wanted to get that sweetness. And she's also always wanted to be a mom. She's a early childhood educator. And so the hands, I love doing hands. I think they're so expressive, and the hands just cupping her belly really spoke to me. And even the position of her legs, she's very limber. She was a dancer, and not a lot of people can sit comfortably that way. And then the lace curtain actually wasn't the photo at all. There is a window there, but I really wanted to give the effect of something that was happening but not seen, because that's what was going on, was there was something very much happening but not seen inside of her. And yeah, I really,
You've caught such a beautiful expression and feeling of her gazing out. She might be looking at something, but she's also really looking forward to holding that beautiful baby.
Yeah.
And I could feel the breeze coming in through that window too.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Deborah, we're getting some really wonderful comments too on the painting. Eileen Brennan says, very beautiful. And Sonia Hale says, nice, gentle quality to this piece. And Megan says, absolutely gorgeous. Love it, Mom.
Can I just say, I have just one comment that that I think this is a beautiful example of the importance and the power of pose in art, where it's subtle, but like the strength of the arrangement. And like Deb said, she took a couple of different photos and combined them till she got the result that she wanted. And the overall effect is of like this like strength and complete, like that feeling of expectation. There's like not a hint of apprehension. Like she's just looking forward to this event. And I think like her choice of pose and form just perfectly convey the entire like feeling of the piece. And it's just beautiful.
Thanks, Julia.
All right, so Deborah, can you, your model, can she unmute herself and join us? That would be Megan.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Oh, look at you. Oh, all of you there.
We got the whole crew.
Tell us about how this feels to be part of your mom's beautiful painting.
I mean, I was so honored that she wanted to paint me. It's sort of, her paintings are so beautiful, and it's just such a treasure to have one that's actually of Silas and I. This is Silas now.
Hi, Silas.
She even drew a lion for me just like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, she's like the coolest grandma, isn't she?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Silas, do you like seeing a painting of you before you were born?
It was hanging up in our staircase. It was, yes, it was really honored to see it, but I can't even believe when this happened.
Oh, thank you for such wonderful words, Silas. We love hearing what you have to say.
Well, thank you.
Oh. And Megan, we love seeing your beautiful family. I don't know if everyone else can see your little box with everybody there. It looks like there's another one popping in and out. Yeah, there he is.
And there's another one about to pop out.
Number 3 is coming. So
Oh, congratulations.
Well, thank you so much. It was so good
you.
For you to join us.
Thanks for letting us join.
You're quite welcome. Thank you. Our next artist is Viorica. Viorica, can you unmute yourself and join us and tell us about your painting? And actually, I have to ask Viorica which painting you would like to speak about. Is Viorica here with us?
Let me see. It's possible she may have dropped out. I know she was here, so we may need to, I'll keep an eye out and we may need to come back to it because her work is gorgeous.
Okay.
We'd love to hear about
Okay.
it. I just don't see her. She might be having technical problems. So
Sure. Okay, so we'll go on to our next artist is Eileen. Eileen, can you unmute yourself and join us? This is Eileen's beautiful painting of a perfect beach day. Eileen, are you here with us?
Yes, I am.
Great.
Can you, I'm unmuted, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you just fine.
Oh, okay, hi. Hi, everybody. I'm Eileen Brennan. I'm coming from Trumbull, Connecticut. I have 3 children who are all grown up now. And, you know, for me, motherhood's been the best job I've ever had. And some of the best memories that I have were when they were little and we would just spend a day at the beach. And so this is me and my oldest child, my daughter, Kelly, taken from a photo on a vacation. But anyway, it's just a small acrylic painting. I just, you know, I just like love my kids so much. I hope that I tried to portray like the love I feel for them in it. Also, the pandemic really has made me focus on coming back to doing artwork. I, you know, always work full time, but I really haven't been doing art as much. And it's been really great to kind of go back. And I've been really trying to challenge myself and try new things. And I've drawn people, but I've never really done very many paintings of people. So I just wanted to try something new. And when I saw this event for motherhood, it was just a perfect challenge for me. And, you know, I just want to thank, you know, the whole Stanford Art Association and the Connecticut Society of Portrait Artists for this opportunity. And it's just been an honor and a privilege to meet all of you artists. You're all so talented. So
oh, thank you, Eileen. Eileen, we're getting some wonderful comments Karina says very sweet, and Sonia Hale says timeless feeling to this piece, captured very loving feeling.
Oh,
And I
thank you
have to
so
say,
much.
I agree, because you feel the sun warmth on the beach, you can hear the waves and maybe a little breeze in the hair. And what a treasure for you to have captured this wonderful memory and moment.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Is your daughter here with us today?
No, she's actually coming over for dinner. She's married. She's coming over to celebrate my husband's birthday today, but it's all right anyway. So it's too bad. But
I have a question. Is this acrylic on canvas? Or
yeah, it's on a small canvas.
So that's really a small size, and you get.
It's only 8 by 8. Yeah.
Oh, you have such precise strokes. And
Oh,
even the
thank you.
Signature, is that paint?
I used a little paint marker for the signature. That's all.
And did you use it in the hair also, or in?
No, those were paintbrush. Those are all strokes.
Very fine work.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice. Thank you so much.
Yes, very beautiful. Julia, do we have any questions?
So far, no. I think everyone's just really impressed. Enjoying the work.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you, Eileen.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Our next artist is, it would have been Barbara, but she and I switched places. So let me come up. My name is Shauna Lee Kwashnok, and this is my charcoal portrait of Taffy Boy Bunny Rabbit and Miss Ginger, the stray kitty cat that we adopted. And I have to tell you that motherhood is more than just humans with their babies or like elephants or giraffes. It's also between rabbits and cats. And you would never think, because the rabbit is prey and the cat goes after them, but not in this situation. Ginger never or Miss Pumpkin, I mean, never got along with their other cats, and she was always scared because she grew up feral. But when the little Taffy Boy Bunny joined our family unexpectedly, we found him in our yard, loose. They bonded immediately, and she mothered him and washed him. And when she would lay down, he would come up and nuzzle her like you see here. And it was the only time I saw this cat smile. If you know an animal's expression, you know, they have expressions. And they were a thing.
I just have one question for you, Shauna. After adopting the bunny rabbit, did the feral cat mellow out?
Only with him. The two of them, I mean, they were just, it was an instant bond. And it was one that after she passed away, he spent weeks looking for her. So I'm so glad that I captured this moment with them.
That is amazing. Everyone thinks it's incredibly sweet and a beautiful example of out-of-the-box motherhood.
Yes, thank you. All right, our next artist is Sonia Hale, and I'm gonna have to scroll down to her piece right here. Sonia, are you here with us?
I am, thank you. Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Okay, great, thank you. It's hard to know.
And I love that little painting in your background too.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a recent commission, so it's been fun to work in pastel. Yeah, so for this piece, this was really fun to work on. I enjoyed composing this with the mom, and what is so interesting about this is the strength of the younger sister on the right side of the painting. She actually is holding the painting together, and you would think the older sister would have that role, but she was a little bit more sensitive and reflective. And although she enjoyed the process, I think the younger one had a little bit more excitement about it.
Oh, you could totally see the sass in her face.
Isn't that cute? And she was doing
so
pirouettes. And I have the cutest photos of her. I should go back and paint some paintings of her. but they're both dear girls. And I enjoyed also, on top of composing it, all the different textures of the painting. So the background was actually a reflective wallpaper, which threw a little bit of a curveball at me. But the textures of the dresses, the hair, the ribbon, and I also enjoyed working with the flow of the ribbon, having that just show some vitality along with the girls' youth.
If I may just say, Sonia, this painting was intentionally chosen to round out the representational realist portraits celebrating motherhood. And you did such a magnificent professional job. And we wanted you to be the grand finale piece.
Oh, that's so sweet of you.
To
Thank
share
you very much.
what a commissioned portrait can be in a grand scale. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm honored.
Yeah, some of the beautiful comments we're getting is stunning and so professional from Janine. And Eileen says, beautiful. The lace detail is amazing. And Lucia says, lovely, great expression on both sisters, and the hair is magnificent. And Karina says, beautiful details.
Thank you very much, everyone.
And I have to share, I understand that the quiet older child and the very rambunctious younger one, it's the same story at my house as you've captured here in paint.
Sonia, it looks as though it's from life. Is it from photograph or life?
Well, I actually painted a lot from life during my formative drawing and painting years, but this is done solely from photos. But thank you for that, because that's my goal, is to have things look as though they're painted from life.
It does. It's lovely.
Well done. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm not sure if it's time for our third poll. Or
Marianne Glass, does SAA have anything left?
This is we've completed our review.
Okay, so Christine, we can do our last poll, and afterwards, then we can do our drum roll and awards.
Perfect. Let's do
So
it.
everybody, you may have had your favorite. Let's see if you agree with the jurors from the Connecticut Society of Portrait Artists and Stanford Art Association. We're each awarding one Best in Show. So we'll do that right after this final poll for you guys, which I'm going to run right now. Final comments. And again, Julia, would you please guide us through these questions?
Absolutely. Question number one. If you do, I wish we had more time to speak with artists, to ask more questions, both, neither, timing was good, or questions about, or time for other things. Number two, after this reception, I will definitely visit the csopa.org and or stanfordartassociation.org websites. I will give serious thought to gift original art for Mother's Day or other events, both, or you're not sure. And then three, the Artistic Celebration of Motherhood pop-up display is now in the window of 96 Bedford Street. See it behind me, Stamford, Connecticut, and it's on view through May 31st, which is Memorial Day. Do you live in the area? And we'll definitely check it out. Live a distance, but we'll definitely make an effort to see it, or you don't think you're going to get there. So with all of that, we would love to know your thoughts.
Again, these responses are anonymous. And as soon as we hit 75%, we will share the results. And we're almost there. We're at 70%. So get your votes.
I think we have time if we want to give it a few extra seconds. We can see if we can get everybody.
Okay, come on, everybody.
Why not?
Okay.
And we do appreciate, we use the feedback to make our next events better. So we really appreciate you guys taking the time to answer these.
Good. So I'm sharing results. Julia, would you go over them with us?
It looks like for the most part, a few people wanted to have a little more time to speak with the artists and ask more questions. But everyone seems to think that the timing was good, which is great because we wanted to make this the best event for everyone. It's lovely to see over 65% of people will definitely be giving a visit to the online galleries at csopa.org and StamfordArtAssociation.org so they can peruse the wonderful artworks at their leisure. And it looks like a lot of people are also going to give serious thought about gifting original art for Mother's Day or other events, which is wonderful. It's a great way to have something unique and to support your local artists. And the pop-up display for Artistic Celebration of Motherhood at 96 Bedford Street in Stamford. It looks like about 30% of people will live in the area and will definitely check it out. 35% live a distance, but will make an effort to see it, which is wonderful. We so appreciate that. And then a couple of people are not sure if they're going to make it. So we're really happy. We're really happy that so many people have so much interest, and we appreciate all of you so much.
Thank you, Julia. And now drum roll, please. I think Shauna Lee is going to screen share our gallery page and move around the page for everyone to see all the work that was accepted. And she's going to come back to the best in show. We had a total of 51 artists between both organizations and 71 original works of art. So this is a big show. And certainly so many well-deserving pieces. But one of them really stood out for all of us in its quality. So the winner is, drum roll please. Da, 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 da. Nicole Troupe Bryce.
Well done, everybody.
Don't know if Nicole was able to join us. Are you here, Nicole, if you are on mute?
I don't believe she was able to be here in person, unfortunately.
Well, we will let her know, and we thank all our artists for participating. And now we hear now from SAA with bated breath. Who won?
Hit it, Marianne.
Okay. So we're going to scroll down.
It's so much beautiful work.
It's a very diverse group of images, so which is really nice. Okay. And
the winner is?
Oh,
congratulations.
Yeah. Gosh, thank you. Oh my gosh.
Congratulations, Pam.
Wow.
Okay, we're gonna stop the screen share and invite everyone to unmute, because that concludes our virtual reception. Christine, would you like to say a few final words?
Well, I would say those of us who've organized this, raise a glass to everybody who participated. We love your work, and we will see you in further exhibits, and congratulations, everybody.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very enjoyable.
Thank you. It's
Thank
great.
you.
So we're gonna leave the room open for whoever wants to chat. You can unmute. This is a reception, and we'll close the room in about 10 minutes. So enjoy.
Yes, please talk amongst yourselves.
Is this the part where we pretend we're in person and we just chat?
That's right.
Everybody talks to one.
Enjoyed the
I have
show.
to go.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. So many people. It was amazing.
It was good to see everybody. Nice to see you, Deb.
Nice to see you, Linda.
Deb, so good to see you.
So long.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Very well done. Well run.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. We had so much fun putting this together. We're glad you all came.
Yep.
I think we had over 50 people for the whole reception. So thank you guys.
Can anybody share how to become a member of both the organizations?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. So Janine, why don't you hit it for CSOPA?
Just csopa.org. Click on membership. We'd love to have you.
And Cheryl, the same thing for Stanford Art Association. There's a whole area where you just go onto the website and there's a membership you can do online. And if you have a problem with that, just email me because or email Stanford Art Association email and I can walk you through it.
Okay, thank you.
It's easy. And I think we have a lot of shows coming up on our opportunities for artists. We publish all our calls. We have a number of shows coming up this summer and in the fall. So please join us for further exhibitions. And 2 of them are in person. So we'll be mounting a show at the Stanford Historical Center and also at the Lockwood Matthews Mansion in the latter part of the year. So
We've exhibited there. It's a unique space and it's a lot of fun.
Yep.
Right.
Anybody have any questions about what we do as an organization or how to acquire art or commission a painting, anything like that? Okay, you all know who we are, what we do. And if you don't, feel free to contact us. We're excited that you came.
Now with that, I think I'm going to stop the recording.